You're not my friend. I unfriend you. That's from that commercial.
That's not how this works.
I put my pictures on my wall so I could share them with all my friends.
You guys, I have a guest. It's Mama Jean. You've heard about her umpteen times. The infamous quilter. She has FOs and whips just like I do, so you're getting a 2-for-1 today. If you are wondering why Mama Jean is here, we are actually at my parents' house for Memorial Day weekend. I kind of held off on recording because I figured that it would be cool to incorporate Mama Jean's quilts. Let's get started. If y'all don't know who I am or wonder where we are, which is the farm, you can see that in the introduction video. I'll put a little eye up there somewhere. Let's get on to the stuff. So we usually start out with FOs, which is finished objects. Do you want to go first or you want me to?
I can go first, but I want to tell you I'm really honored that you asked me to be a guest.
Oh, of course. I love Mama Jean.
This is fun, but I've never done it before, so finished objects first?
Yes.
Okay. Some of you may know about Sauder's quilt show in Archibald, Ohio. That's done once a year. It's a big thing around this area, although they get quilts from other countries and everything too. And I entered 3 quilts this year and I got an honorable mention on one. So I'm going to show you those. This is wool on cotton and we probably can't see it, or can you?
Yeah.
It says let it snow, which God forbid.
Oh, let it snow.
Yeah, God forbid after this winter that we should ask for snow. But this was a block of the month from Buttermilk Basin. I had all the blocks done and it sat for a long time, and then I put it together and I really like how it turned out.
It's the little,
It's a
I don't know if
sled.
you can see it here. It's a little sled and it has a little, whatchamadingy. What's the back?
I just pieced the back
backing.
with different reds.
Awesome.
Red's my color.
And this is one that you entered in the...
That's when I entered and I didn't win.
Okay.
They were all in different categories. You could only do one in a category, 3 quilts all together.
So for those of you who don't know what Sauder's is, they have similar things all over the country, but it's kind of old-timey. A lot of the kids go on field trips there. They have like a spinning shop and a barber shop and a broom shop and a weaving shop. I mean, their looms are awesome.
They're
huge.
authentic buildings that they collected around Northwest Ohio and transported and rebuilt over there.
And they have a quilt shop and an antique museum. The museum is amazing. I absolutely love it because, you know, I love old stuff. The quilt, correct me if I'm wrong, you can pay them to have a bunch of not old ladies. That was probably really mean. You can pay Sauders an old lady. Oh, I said it again.
I don't care.
And ladies will hand quilt your quilt for you.
But
I mean, it
there's
probably
a
costs
waiting.
a gazillion
It
dollars,
does,
right?
and there's a waiting list forever. So if you want to do that, you better get in. But they're the ones that do like 12 on an inch, you know, and you can't even see it. And when you go and watch them, you know.
Like when you go to
It's
the
amazing.
museum, the quilt shop is in the same building as the museum. It's like up front and then you walk into the museum. And when they're there, you can watch them do it. And it is literally this huge, what do you call it? Frame. Huge frame. And all these women are just sitting around it. And it's literal stitching bitch. I mean, they're stitching this huge quilt. It's really fun to watch.
They don't use that word though.
Yeah, they don't say bitch, but I do.
They're good Mennonite women probably for the most part. Okay.
They'd burst into flames if they saw this show, wouldn't they, folks?
Well, somebody might, so I got to watch what I say.
Sorry.
And I love them all to pieces. Can I go on?
Yes.
Okay, this was a class I took last year to make
love these colors.
this mariner's compass. I had never done it before, and it's very intricate process, but I was really excited the way my first one turned out, and I quilted it myself, and I call it Celestial because I thought it looked kind of, you know, stellar and all this stuff.
Well, here's the, I don't know how well you can see the quilting.
I did like whirlwinds.
Here's the back.
Yeah.
Isn't it cool? The colors are like
I
my
love the colors. This was Diehl Fabric for quilters, and I love Diehl's fabrics. This didn't win either, and I thought maybe this might.
Oh, yeah.
If you'd have seen the ones that won, I have no complaints. They were exquisite. Now this is the one I got a ribbon on. I was not expecting it. And this is a tall, long one.
Oh, it's so cute.
This,
is it a mug?
Yes, and it was another freebie Buttermilk Basin. It's wool on cotton.
Do you see the sheepies?
Yes. And again, I had all the blocks done, and each one's different. You can see I didn't do traditional. I did a purple candy cane. And then I put them together and figured out what I wanted for a setting, and there she goes. But I got an honorable mention on this, and I was very tickled. So I'm displaying this right now in my house because it makes me happy.
What else we got going on? Oh, there's
sorry.
Halloween.
There's what?
Halloween.
Oh yeah, well this isn't that one's just sewing, so I guess you can make up whatever month you want for that. They're just little country whimsical things. I really like whimsical primitive things.
Primitive.
Love, love, love this backing fabric. And then I just finished these bowl fillers, again Buttermilk Basin, and I don't always do her patterns, but it just so happens I have lately. These are little babies, is that good?
Yeah.
Little baby pillows that are flowers, butterfly.
I like the
And they're bowl fillers, and I had them posted on Facebook, and somebody said, what's a bowl filler? And it's just seasonal decorations, you know, that this needs more, but it's a start. I have two more, and they're both chemo quilts, because it's always good to do charity quilts.
Okay, what's cute? So, I mean,
So these
knitters do that a lot.
This will
too,
be
but-
donated to a lady who sells 31 bags.
Uh-huh.
Is donating, I think, like 60 of them, and she wanted blankets to go in it. So our guild said we'll do that as a challenge, and all the guild members are making a couple.
This is cool. It's all batiks.
It's all batiks, which I'm not a batik person, but I thought this would be nice because it looked a little more masculine for.
Which for you only knitters that don't know, this watercolory type print, right? It's kind of like watercolor. That's always how I know a batik.
Well, actually, it's wax resist.
Oh.
And the shop owner from me just went to Bali, where most of this is produced, and came home with a chop, which is one of the things they imprint.
Really?
Handmade. And two little pipes that you put the wax in, and it is so painstaking, like each little dot.
We did it in art class.
Oh, you did?
But on tissue paper. I didn't know that that's
well,
how
they do.
the
And
fabric
it
is
just,
made.
she brought back, not a swatch, it was a good sized piece of fabric that was so intricately done that
I get it honest.
I'd never ever be able to cut into that fabric. But this is the first chemo quilt, and then this one I wanted it to be a happy quilt, so I used puppy fabric, and
Aww.
I think it's
That
puppies
is very
or else
cheery.
it's kitties. I don't know, it might be kitties, and I don't have my glasses on.
It's kitties.
Okay, kitties, but they did have a puppy one too, and it's the same size as the other one. It's just a lap quilt, so I'm going to donate both of these and hope that they are.
And it has mushrooms on it.
Well
Here,
worn.
let's, one of these is there.
I like houses too on fabric, and this has little houses.
Where's the kitty? Oh, let me find the kitty. There's a kitty.
I can't
Just a
even.
little one.
Okay, that's my pile of stuff. I could go on and on and on, but this is Chavez's show, so I can't hog it.
Okay, my FOs. Finally, after being on the needles for a long time, I have vanilla socks. I even blocked these. Now, what I have figured out, this is where I was the last time, so I got both of those cuffs done. What I have figured out with these, I do believe that my gauge has changed. I don't know. I like the density of the fabric, but They're more like slipper socks than snug to my feet. I typically do 64 stitch cast on. I think I need to go down to like a 62 or a 60 on my next one just to see like what I get. But I'm super excited to have a pair of socks off the needles. I also finished my steering wheel cover. I was going to take a picture of it like on the steering wheel, but
we can figure it out.
You just get to see it like this right now. And then I have my wee square, my crochet squares, and I can't remember what number I'm on. I'll tell you next time. And that's all the FOs that I have. I have done a couple Bluebirds of Happiness, but I won't show those so they can be a surprise for Tommy. That's it for FOs. We're on to whips.
Okay.
Whips.
I haven't done clothes sewing in quite a while, but I found this Batik fabric.
Batik all day, every day.
And it's real drapey because it has polyester in it, and it's indigo, and that's my favorite too.
I said it'd be awesome, like a big old wide leg pant, and
yeah.
she was like, not for $14 a yard. I was like, ooh, no, that'd be
But,
really
it just, I know it'll drape well. So I've got this pattern. I've wanted to make this shirt forever, and I'm gonna make it solid, not piece it all up, but I thought it'd be a nice drapey. So that's really in progress. And then this little Norma Whaley quilt
Aww.
is ready to be quilted.
Look at the little carrots and the chicken. Those the vegetables are so cute.
And this has part wool and cotton on cotton, and I just love to do the handwork and everything. I like to do everything. I've also been working on,
She's not just a quilter,
I'm a
folks.
hooker, and it's upside down. I've been working on this since
Mama
fall.
Jean hooks on the side.
Yes, I do. And it's a Thanksgiving one, but I'm only this far. And for the most part, this is repurposed wool that I've bought at thrift shops and so on and felted, and it lives on in my rugs. So this is something else I love to do.
I'll put pictures of this when it's finished, like on the floor, so you can see it.
That's it.
My whips. This is a whip parade. First off, I have a new cast on. I don't know how many of y'all have seen on Instagram that Andrea Mowry, she released a new pattern called the Harlow Hat, I believe. It's brioche. She's having a Memorial Day weekend knit along. My friend Diana, who I've talked about a bunch, had the idea for us knitter, like our knitting group, if we wanted to do the cow. So we're all doing it together, and there's text going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
That's so pretty.
So there, that's kind of better. Mm-hmm. That's the outside. And then I am doing a gradient for the inside, well, the wrong side. So there's gonna be one more color. I'm hoping to have this done by Monday, I think is the last day, so that I can enter it in the giveaway. I did the large size, which seemed kind of big, and I was a little scared that it was gonna be too big, but I put it on and it's awesome. It's perfect, I love it. I will tell you, if you knit this hat, it calls for a tubular cast on, which is a little fiddly. Tubular. You have to practice. I think I did it like 3 times before I really got into the groove. The cal started on Friday. I actually practiced my casting on Wednesday so that I could like not be mad on Friday. I would have been really frustrated, I think, if I started on Friday. What else I got going on over here?
I can't keep up, so.
Oh, these are my Exceedingly vanilla socks. I was right here the last time. I got this far. I have the heel flap and the heel turn. I'm up to the gusset and the foot, and then these will be done.
I've learned so much about knitting since watching these.
Mama Jean and I actually bartered. Well, I said that in a past episode for those of you who haven't seen it. She made me a camper quilt, and I knit her
4 pairs.
4 pairs of socks.
Ooh.
She's very, very knit-worthy. Then, I can't remember if I've shown this before. I think I just, yes, I did show this. This is V Yarns. If for some reason Mama Kathy watches this, which is Clint's mom, you need to shut this off and stop watching. Because Clint commissioned me to make her Mother's Day present, which
obviously is late.
she is going to get I forget what they're called now. I'm a terrible podcaster. Stand by. Counterbalance, I think is what they're called.
And if your mom doesn't like them, Clint, I'll take them.
The Counterbalance mitts by Stephanie Lotvin. And they look, well, obviously like this. So I need to weave in the ends. But on the outside, or on the top, it's just plain stockinette and ribbing. But then on the inside, ta-da! Carrie knit these, and I watch every episode of Carrie's. She is also a quilter, so I've forwarded a couple of her episodes. I've emailed you so you can check her out.
Right.
And I feel terrible because I cannot remember the name of her podcast. I'm an asshole. I'll put it down here. But she knit these, and I fell in love with them because I thought it was so cool that cable was on the bottom.
Won't they look better, though, with these?
I need to weave in the ends, yes. And then I have a wee cuff started.
Oh,
Just a wee little
little
cuff
baby cup.
on the second one. This is the big one. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Have you not seen this yet?
No.
This is my Flamingo Flavor. Flamingo Flavor by Suzanne Sommer. And the last time I only had one side of the increases done. So now I have both sides of these side increases. I'm on the brioche. I have 2 more repeats of this brioche and the I-cord bind off. That's all I have left for this. And
Isn't that pretty?
squished on the needles, obviously, it will look way better once it's blocked. But it's then different colors on the opposite side.
Ooh. I would think that would look really good with someone with green eyes, perhaps.
Very
enough
knit-worthy.
said.
The next time I record, that will be off the needles. And then I have one last whip that if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen that I started.
I just love this.
This is my Dropcloth Sampler. This is by Rebecca Ringwist. It is so fun. It teaches you how so it comes with this pre-printed, and then Creativebug, for those of you who don't know what that is, you can sign up. I think you get the first month free, and then it's like $8.
I think I saw on Facebook today that you can have 2 months for $5.
Oh, nice.
So,
I think
I
it's
don't
typically like $8 a month or something like that.
Well, they're having a special.
So look up the special. But Rebecca does a class to teach you all these stitches. Mama Jean is great at handwork. I am not. I love it, and it's a lot of fun. Like this chain was fun, the satin stitch, these little stars. So I'll
And I think that would be a cute pillow.
Yeah, I was gonna frame it, but I think I like the pillow idea better. And then she suggested using a backing fabric, so it'll be thick.
Well, you know why too? When you take your thread from stitch to stitch or whatever, it doesn't you don't see it behind here when you're traveling if you've got something to block it. If it's just this drop cloth
'Cause
fabric,
it's clear.
well, you could see a dark thread pulled across it behind it, so that helps.
Well, and I definitely like it thicker. I thought that it was weird that
Hi, honey, I'm on TV.
my dad just woke up from a nap.
I'm on TV.
We're recording.
Oh,
He fixes his hair.
They can't see you.
can they hear me?
Yes.
I'm running away now.
I like the backing fabric because it's more substantial. When I first got this, honestly,
That's another reason too.
I was like, this is flimsy. Like I didn't get how it, and I figured it would pucker like once you got the stitches in and not a good way. But then when she said to use backing fabric, and now that I'm doing it, it's like, oh, there's a reason.
And if you put a little layer of quilt batting before you do it, you get a dimensional aspect that you can do for
You're terrible at this game.
if you put a little piece of batting, thin batting behind it when you do your embroidery, you get another look. It's more dimensional.
like pillowy or something.
yeah. So, there's different things you can do to
I'm really
change it up.
I'm really excited about
Well,
it.
you should be, because I remember when you said, I can't do embroidery, I can't, and this is really nice.
It's fun though.
Oh, yeah.
It really is. I just have to think about it. I like being able to sit down with knitting and just go. Whereas this, I really have to think about it and like picking the colors. And so you'll see that as it
Evolves.
evolves. That's all my whips. So if you want to say peace out, you can, or you can sit here while I say these other
Peace
things.
out, and thank you for letting me meet you all today, and maybe I'll see you again.
Oh, I forgot.
Maybe there'll be the Mama Jean show.
I forgot to tell you, Lacey, the knitted cupcake, if any of you have seen her, I need to show you a video. She is, Lacey, correct me if I'm wrong, either going for her master's or her PhD, something with signing. And she accidentally posted an entire signing video
Did
on
she?
her podcasting channel. And I
Cool.
messaged her. I was like, I'm so excited to show Mama Jean this and see if you could still
Remember.
So Mama Jean's retired, but her entire career was special education for the hearing impaired, basically. So, and Lacey, the Knitted Cupcake podcast, is also doing that. So
Yeah,
I
I
forgot
taught-
to tell you that.
14 years I taught hearing impaired, so I love you all out there.
So
Thank you, Shivas.
thanks for stopping by.
Oh, you bet. You couldn't keep me away.
I have fuzz in my mouth.
Mama Jean's flashing me at this point. I hope you all enjoyed that little guest spot by Mama Jean. I do know that you have heard me talk about her multiple times, so I thought that it would be nice to put a face with a name. Pretty much done. I'm just going to touch base on a couple things before I go partake in the beautiful weather outside. Our baby robins fledged the nest. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw that we are empty nesters now. They are still hopping around the yard, learning how to fly. I'm hoping that all 4 of them made it and that the neighborhood kitties did not have them as snacks. I also would like to remind you all that the Bluebirds of Happiness for Tommy from Squirrel Pie Productions is still going on. If you're a new viewer, you can go check out some of the past episodes to hear more about that. I am also this weekend eco printing. I have wanted to eco print forever. I'll insert some pictures if I have them. I'm trying very, 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 very hard to wait until tomorrow to open them. If you follow Ninja Chicken, she has amazing eco printed stuff. I did some research. I looked online. I read a bunch of blog posts. I watched some YouTube videos. I tried it. You know, there's always that scary time as to whether you like open it up and there's nothing there, or you open it up and it's cool. I don't know. I did it earlier today. They are currently out baking in the sun, and I will open those up tomorrow. So hopefully you guys can see some of those things. Last but not least, I may be jumping the gun here, who knows. Currently I have a little over 700, I think, subscribers, which thank you so much for coming and hanging out. If it ever happens, who knows, it might not happen. I have a plan to do a giveaway once I reach 1,000 subscribers. The reason that I'm mentioning that now is because my giveaway, while most podcasters do Ravelry-based giveaways.
The rules, I'm not a rule follower.
Yeah. I'm not gonna tell you what I have in mind because I want it to be a surprise. That's even if I get 1,000 subscribers. My giveaway is going to be Instagram-based. So those of you who don't have Instagram, I would love it if you would jump on board. I know that there are a lot of people who are like, I don't need one more thing. They don't know how it works, or they don't understand how it works, or they're scared. I will tell you, my friend Tara, for months told me, this is, of course, has been years ago, but for months told me, you have to get on Instagram, you have to get on Instagram, it's awesome, it's awesome. And I drug my feet, I finally got on it. I absolutely love it. Hashtags make things so nice to look up. If any of you are not on Instagram and you don't understand it, I would be willing to do a little Instagram video for you to show you kind of the basics, even if you just want to get on for the giveaway. Like I said, I only have a little over 700 subscribers. There is plenty of time to sign up for Instagram and kind of get your feet wet, learn your way around, and then maybe you can participate in the giveaway if you want to. No pressure. That being said, I am going to catch you later. I'm gonna go enjoy the sun and my family. I hope you all have a marvelous Memorial Day weekend. And until next time, later.